Hello and welcome to day three. Day three of the Less Faff Mini Reset. So, how did you get on with your irritations list? And did you identify something that just irritates the bejeebers out of you? And did you tick it off? Do write to me, let me know if you did. I would love to know. But really, faff free living, or treacle free living as I like to call it, is the avoidance of, say, constantly searching for things, avoiding paperwork, piling up all over the place, overthinking, making too many decisions, decluttering, rushing, forgetting things because of lack of organisation, feeling behind, unfinished jobs, so many repeated tiny annoyances that just happen over and over again. Just something as simple, right? We've got a little chalkboard in our kitchen, only about this size, and some chalk. And every time we think of something we need from the shops, it goes on the chalkboard. And when we buy it from the shops, we use a bit of felt rubber to rub it back off again. And it works brilliantly. Just not a piece of paper that's going to be cluttered onto the side in the kitchen and now it's under a tea bag or something. I don't know. It's just finding a place and working out just a mini system each week to just make life easier. It's saving energy. It's working out where your money goes. I've got a lot of ideas about money just dripping away. I've got thoughts about saving sheets and financial tracking of batch cooking systems, etc. And just being able to know where things I've got a story actually. It's about we live near to the Dartford toll, so you have to pay to go either under the tunnel or over the bridge, normally with a big queue, one way or the other, which is pretty annoying. Anyway, I know somebody who normally you can set it up so that just automatically it charges you, right? Now I know of somebody who he'd moved house, and in conjunction with moving house, his credit card had also expired. So when he didn't pay for his toll charge, when they were writing to him to say, "Excuse me, you now have this payment to make," he didn't get it because it got sent to his old house. By the time they eventually caught up with him, because I think somebody moved into his old house and then forwarded the mail on, whatever, because of course he hadn't done a mail redirect, right? If you move house, do a mail redirect because otherwise you might get caught out like this. So I think the bill had come to about £130 in the end because A, his credit card had expired, B, he just assumed that going through the tunnel and going over the bridge, it would work. It didn't. He'd moved. Disaster, right? If he'd had a little bit more organisation, a little bit more thought, that wouldn't have happened at all. So it's doing something and thinking, hang on a minute, how will future me thank me if how I organise this at this point in time is going to be really easy for future me to come along and grab whatever it is that I'm dealing with right at this very minute. I had a boss for 4 years who used to open the post and she'd slice it open, not even with a letter opener, it was all raggedy. And then, even if it was absolute junk, she would fold it back up, put it back in the envelope, and put it on the desk. And it's like, why? You decided in that moment in time it was junk. Why didn't you just put it in either the waste paper bin or the recycling bin for the paper, right? Why make the decision twice? It was like, and she was always, oh, she was hilarious actually. She used to come to work with about 12 bags and she never knew what was in any of them. There's probably like last week's lunch and an old banana and all that sort of thing. It was like, no wonder you're completely disorganized. And of course, it was down to me to actually organise this said person, which is obviously where I got a lot of my tips and tricks from over the years, because having somebody as disorganised as that particular boss, bless her, who was a creative designer, so I do forgive her slightly, but it was just as well she had me sort of going behind her, working out systems and shortcuts and things so that we could find whatever it was that she'd just given me. We could find it in an instant because I'd put a system in place. So we have all sorts of things like holiday systems and business systems and email systems, all sorts of things that we can put in place. Just only a tiny little tweak of just what is happening today. It's like, how many times do you lose your keys? Do you lose your keys? Are they at the bottom of a handbag? Are they on the kitchen side? Or are they in the dining table? Or are they down the sofa? Any idea? Why not have a dedicated place? I was watching, what was it I was watching? All Creatures Great and Small, and the housekeeper was telling the vet off because he never hung his keys on the peg, right? And I thought, yeah, mate, you're right. If you've got a place for where they should be, then they're always going to be there, and it just saves so much time. We've got a Faraday box which stops the beams, the burglars, to get your keys, right? It's like scary stuff, but there you go. And the keys always go in the little box. Just a simple thing, but we never lose the keys. Actually, my other half has to have, like Paddington Bear used to have a tag round him with, please look after this bear. My other half has actually got his keys around his neck because I can't trust him. There you go. Right. All handmade by me. I could sell them on Etsy, actually, these key keepers. So what about if you book to go to the theatre? Well, that's a great one, because they go, here you go, here's your QR code, straight to your inbox, which then gets buried by, if you're like me, 200 other emails that you get during the day. And then suddenly it's like, oh, what time's the train? Oh, goodness, what happened to the tickets? I've got to either have them on my phone, ready to show the lady or the gentleman at the front of the theatre and know exactly where they are, and I don't know where they are, so there's a big panic looking for the email. Or did you print them out? Have you got a printer? Did you print them out? If you did print them out, where did the print go? Have you got a little wallet that you can put them in that's A5 size, fold up the A4 sheet of paper and it goes in there, and you know all of the tickets that you have printed out? That only fails when the I realised recently my wonderful system of tickets is like, oh, they said they'd send the ticket 7 days before the actual show was on. So it's like, oh, that's ruined my system, because I either would have it printed or I'd have it put into a folder in my email system that says tickets or hotel reservations, etc. Right? So sometimes you have to bend a little bit with the systems that you put in place, but all of them literally take minutes to think of. And that is basically getting rid of the treacle. It's looking and thinking, how can I make this simpler for my future self in the future, basically. And that is what Treacle Free Life Studio is about. So if you've enjoyed this little reset of thinking about all the irritations and how long is it actually going to take to work out how to not be irritated by the things that are irritating you, it usually just tiny little tweaks, and that is what life is about in Treacle Free Life Studio. Weekly tips, practical ideas, little systems, gentle nudges. Nothing huge to deal with, but just little things that you may not have thought about. So if you'd like some weekly help coming to help you with your treacle and make your life less faff, then I will put the link in to the email that is with this video. Okay, take care. It's been a joy and a pleasure, and I hope you've liked our little reset. And if you have, I would love to hear from you. Do email me. Okay, take care. Lots of love. Bye.